Welcome VeVe fam. In this video I'll be going over the recent Twitter AMA from VeVe. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. So in this video you'll get all the highlights from my AMA and some of my thoughts as well. So let's stick around and dive into it. So helpfully VeVe themselves have done a quick recap in the actual Twitter postings. So I'm just going to read through this and kind of share some of my thoughts straight away. So big news for me here is just the number of users. So 1.4 million per month active. The clarified active means at least checking in the app once during that month, and over 3 million NFTs sold. So I'm assuming by sold we're talking about from the actual drops themselves and not in the secondary market. And we actually thought they would be at this point 4 years from when they launched, so very much ahead of the game, about 3 years further than expected to be. So good news for us, more people means more money into the app, means more drops, means just a better all general experience. It also means the collectibles we have just now as part of the first 3 seasons will probably just go up in value as more people join the app and want to get in and own those collectibles. Again, recapped, expect to see more utility, interactivity. We talked about almost having like a one-to-one relationship with a physical counterpart. So if you had a toy, for example, the toy would also have an NFT 3D collectible associated with it, and be able to kind of use that in the virtual space through VeVe. We did also clarify the situation around bots. We're saying that the measures we take to prevent bots kind of block around about 30% of incoming traffic. We've disabled 250k of the accounts. One of the people asked a question towards the end about what happens to NFTs of those bot accounts, and I think it was Dan from VeVe said, in all likelihood, those would be confiscated and raffled off back into the community, etc. Which I'm quite happy to hear. If you think about this, if someone gambles and cheats during gambling to win, quite often we'll get the winnings taken off them because we can't use cheating, fraudulent means to gain, basically. So I'm not surprised that happens. It's probably the T's and C's, terms and conditions for VeVe as well. You can't cheat or scam or use some sort of bot to increase your chances of success, and therefore there would be repercussions if you did do that. So you might notice a few of these bot accounts trying to sell things off fairly quickly before they get banned and get their NFTs taken from them. Again, it mentioned there's a few number of accounts disabled by accident just because of the measures around bot protection. It did also say that the captcha is probably the lowest form of bot protection, and with the new drop queue we mentioned here, where you go into a random queue and you get picked to get a drop or not, the captcha won't be introduced as part of that, and I think the drop queue itself will reduce a lot of bot activity on the app as well. And again, they confirmed all bot users will be disabled, providing T's and C's there. Quick update around serial killers, just to let you know that we will be doing a gold lucky charmer for returner plus people who didn't get the gold bunny. I think they were quite surprised and shocked that a mistake like that happened and something they don't want to repeat, so very keen to kind of fix that mistake going forward. Some quick updates to the app here, nothing too surprising, just bug fixes, quality of life improvements around the app itself, redesign of the feed and the marketplace as well. One of the things I might talk about later here is the fact that comics at some point will be able to be displayed in a vault using some sort of comic rack or bookshelf. We can put them on and display them within that, so looking forward to seeing that. The Cashout is probably one of the most controversial aspects of this AMA. The reason being is they clarify that due to each country's own rules and laws around crypto and cash out, etc., not every country will have access to be able to cash out. We haven't said yet what countries would be, and they haven't given a definitive timescale when that will be released, but they will give as much advance notice to say these are the countries that can't and won't be able to cash out of the app. I don't know what would be the workaround, perhaps going to a different cryptocurrency or doing something off app, but I didn't go into it at this point. So we moved on to talk about interoperability, and just clarify again, won't be every license, and it's really down to some licensors to decide whether or not they want their NFT product out in the open market, something like OpenSea. Front facing cameras for phones for AR is coming soon. As I mentioned, comics in the showroom it's happening fairly soon as well. So again, typical VeVe for some of our answers here, very vague in terms of timescale, so hopefully later this year be able to sell full sets. Know your customer will be required to be in place to cash out. Again, as I mentioned, no capture for a drop queue when it happens. Again, no details yet for when that drop queue will happen, but Dan did mention it won't be a straight switch. There'll be a mixture of drops using the current system and a new system as they test things out, so it won't be just a switch one day over from the old to the new. Yeah, and again here, just recapping that point there, right about if they know for a fact that an account is using unfair measures, they will retrieve the NFTs and use them for giveaways. They will not resell those collectibles. And probably an announcement probably of the most interest to people is Jermaine Rogers' upcoming drop. They never specified the actual dates for this drop, but it'll be part of this Veil Specimen Correction. I did a quick bit of googling, and there's probably a few characters in that set. From what we discussed on the AMA, it'll probably just be this character that drops first, or that might change depending on what gets released. And that was just the quick Twitter recap of that AMA. So for me, there was a couple of things that I found really useful and exciting. One of the things he didn't mention on the actual recap here, but we did discuss during the actual live Twitter recap, was the fact that there'll be new collectibles coming out in the future. And by new collectibles, what I mean is there'll be a different format from what we've seen from a traditional 3D or comic book. So I'm very excited to see that. We also, talking about comics, mentioned that they will be getting other brands as comics at some point in the future. Again, they need to kind of just work with the licensors and agree terms and conditions, etc. I give an example of Disney. That was something that has been in the works for about 3 years, from about 2018. They've been working on to kind of secure that brand and that license going forward. So very interesting times to be within VeVe. Huge growth so far. The growth we have seen is 4 years ahead of where VeVe themselves thought it would be. So excellent news. So for me, my strategy hasn't changed. I'm still going to go after first appearance of popular characters and from the early seasons, moments, and that reason being is because more people come into the app, more people want these characters, and more people will be willing to pay for them and pay a higher demand. I've already kind of seen the continued increase in the market. I might do another video on that at some point about the market growth we've seen so far in the past week or so. But for me, a very bullish time to be in VeVe. There's no a better time than now to get in, so yeah, kind of sitting on the fence. Now would be a good time, in my own opinion, not financial advice, to kind of pick up a few collectibles. Again, like everyone, I always wish I'd got in sooner than I did, but I'm glad I'm in now because there's still a huge potential to be made going forward. If you have enjoyed this video, please do comment down below what you found most useful from the Twitter recap, what you're most excited about to see coming to VeVe in the future. Unfortunately, we never mentioned anything about Pokemon or upcoming drops like that, but we did talk about partnering up with more people going forward and bringing new brands. So what would you like to see on VeVe going forward? If you do put in a comment, it really does help out with this video, helps other people discover the video. Smash that like button, always helps, and of course, if you want more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, feel free to check out this video here. It's been very popular on the channel, or if you like, you can check out my new video here. I'm sure I love it. Thank you, I've been Scott, and I'll see you in the next video.